Welcome to the October team meeting. Thank you for coming early. Don't eat all the food. It's not for us. It's for the club members. You're not really club members. You're race team members. It's sort of like being freshmen in high school. You get no respect. You get no kudos. Thanks for coming. I want to get started. I'll introduce this fine young lady next to me in just a moment, but tonight's agenda is full of exciting topics. Before we get to everything on the agenda, as you guys peruse it with your eyeballs and not your mouths, I'm in rare form tonight. I did want to say welcome to Amy Folks, who, believe it or not, is a team sponsor and is conveniently located Pacific Therex at the corner of Alpine and Portola. Should you need any sort of physical therapy things, she'll give us all the details. However, we're also talking about maybe doing a team ride or two from there, since Woodside is great, but we've done it for years. So shaking things up a little bit. We'll talk about that later.
So thank you for the introduction. My name's Amy. I'm a physical therapist at Pacific Therex. So at Pacific Therex, it's physical therapy, and we also have a fitness center. So we do, obviously, rehab. I do some bike fitting for either injured clients or people that are just coming in to tweak their bikes or get a new bike. We have the fitness center next door. So the fitness center offers personal training. We do yoga classes. I'm also a certified yoga teacher. So I do a weekly class, and then I've got a yoga for cyclists workshop that I've taught a couple of years running at Pacific Therex, and it's really fun. So it's going to be November 11th. We'll send the details out to Travis so he can get the word out to you. But yeah, it'll be at the fitness center. So all of us, we have a location in Portola Valley, which again is on the loop, on the corner of Alpine and Portola Road. If you ever have a problem, I've got tools too.
Tell me how beer there.
No beer.
No beer.
None.
No beer.
We also have a location in San Francisco. So if you're up in the city or right up there or anything, or we've got a PT clinic up there as well. So I've got this program that I started that I call the RPM cycling program. R is for restore. So if you're injured, PTs are naturally, we're trying to restore function. So as a cyclist, I used to race myself for years. I did road cycling as a Cat 1 and really enjoyed it. So I'm trying to kind of bring that into my professional life and get to work with cyclists a little bit again. So restoring is, again, just trying to get you back into function, get you back on the bike as soon as possible. Make sure that if you've got a knee injury, that your bike is set up correctly, back problem, disc herniation, etc. I'm here to help. He's my guy. And then, of course, performance. So not only do we want to help get you back on the bike and get you back to normal function, but I want to help make sure that you can perform well as well. So I feel like sometimes patients get discharged from formal physical therapy a little too soon, where they're not really at the point where they're performing well, in addition to just getting back to their normal function. So my goal is not just to get you back on the bike, but to get you feeling like you can get back into racing form and everything's going to feel okay. And then lastly, movement analysis. You're welcome. So as physical therapists, we're trained to assess movement. So we watch people's gait, and I, of course, have a particular interest in cyclists, so I spend a lot of time going through trainings to assess you on the bike so we can take video analysis. I can also work on you with the bike fit or give you bike, as a coach probably does, a lot of training tools and drills that you can do to help improve your cycling efficiency, as well as just making you feel better on the bike. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. I specifically have the really strong interest in the cyclists, of course. And then with a tie-in with yoga, we've got a couple of weekly classes at the fitness center next door, personal training, and then we've got some Pilates as well. So questions? Yeah.
Several questions. First question, do you take insurance?
We do. However, it's usually out of network, so.
Right. Most PT, so they'd have
Yeah.
to pay and get reimbursed.
Yeah.
Second question, the Yoga for Cyclists clinic upcoming on the 11th?
Yes,
November?
yes.
Free drop-in? Sign up, register?
Sign up, register is preferred. We use Zen Planner. Again, I'll get the sign up information to Travis, but usually it's $45 to $50 per workshop. I'll give you guys a 15% discount for the yoga, for bike fits per person. So yeah, if you want a bike fit, you can come in and we'll give you a 15, as a team member of PenVelo will give you a 15% discount. Other questions?
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions.
Please.
How many cyclists does it take to set up our own PenVelo yoga class? Is that an option?
6 to 8.
And or training sessions. We're talking about off-bike, off-season training
Yeah.
stuff now, so it's a good time to sort of...
Well, I teach a weekly class now on Tuesday nights, 5:30 to 6:30. So that would be appropriate for cyclists as well. So if you want to start with that, you can always come in. My class is more a mixed level class, so we're doing deeper, intermediate type postures versus for the next door classes, it's restorative and more gentle for clients that are injured.
What style?
I don't know if you've ever heard of Anusara. It's an alignment based, it's Iyengar, but a little faster paced. We do things like handstands, deep back bends, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Yeah, a lot of, especially for the hip for cyclists, it's super important. Your hip flexors get tight, your hamstrings, glutes get tight. It's going to limit your ability to drop down into your drops. Hypomobility in your thoracic spine, increased stress on your neck, your shoulders, all that kind of stuff. So.
And you said there's a fitness center next door. Is it free weight, full range? Like has all the weights?
We've got everything over there. Yeah. So if you want to train over there.
Is it membership or just personal training only?
Both. We have both memberships, so you can come in. We have, in addition to the yoga classes that we offer, we have Pilates Reformer, private Pilates classes. And then we do boot camp, spin class. So if you want to, it's a rainy day, you can come in and try a spin class there. So we offer a few classes as well, and then personal training, and then there's a gym membership. So.
And possibly last question, is it possible also to do set up? Do we have enough people and consistency to do a group training evening, at the gym?
Absolutely, yeah. The gym's open till 7 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, we have a yoga class, but we can work around it. We could do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. We'll talk. Yeah, we could definitely do some training at the gym. We can work out all kinds of stuff. We got TVs there, so if you want to get some cycling videos on, you could.
Do you have weights too?
We have weights. We got it all. Yep. So the personal trainers there have all the gym equipment. We've got Le Monde spin cycle class bikes, and what else? That's it. I've got all my bike fit tools. I don't have an XY bike yet, but sometimes I can. So there's a certain philosophy of bike fitting. What I typically do is a retrofit, meaning you've already got your bike and then I fit you to it. The other is an XY bike where you're on the bike and we're working with the coordinates to make sure that you could go out and help you buy a different bike. So you know what size of bike to get and how to fit it and what kind of saddle height, all that kind of stuff. So that's in the works. I can kind of make it work with our Le Mans Fit bikes, but those Fit bikes are very, very expensive. So we make it work, but yeah, it's definitely a passion of mine. I love working with cyclists. I raced for years and still ride my bike quite often. I just home with 2 kids, so I don't do the racing as much.
First off, any club news I need to know about? Perhaps, for example, a women's recruiting ride update, Yvonne or Colleen, or I saw several people I didn't recognize in a picture somewhere.
We had, 2 people, I think, show up.
2's good. That's like 40%.
5 club members.
That's like 40% membership bump right there.
But of the 2, one was pretty strong. One was really strong.
Oh yeah, director elsewhere.
One is not ready.
That's okay. Club riders, right? Okay, so we'll cover that a little bit more in depth as we go. Now, some of these pictures may show up more than once from previous things because it was sort of a drop-in. Plus, that Brian, he's like, put my picture in. Okay. Tonight's topics include.
Why didn't you crop that a little smaller?
Well, I didn't want it to be obvious. Yeah. Tonight's topics include road team and cyclocross team news, including this is the nefarious open space here. I can't really talk about it in a public forum, so we'll probably have to go into closed session after that. Road team news, fall training options. As I mentioned in the September meeting, September I pretty much gave you guys largely off from structure. Those days are, I guess numbered would be wrong because they're over. So the point being that I wanted to introduce tonight a couple of options. The focus program will become the fall interlude, which sounds delightful and is delightful. Specifically, it's mostly kind of fun stuff, just to keep a little bit of intensity and my favorite thing in the whole world, threshold, in the mix, so that you guys don't throw away all those hard-earned gains. However, the HIT program, which is built around sort of 6 to 8 hours, high-intensity training, which is such a non-starter with me. Anyway, is actually going to change over to an FTP project. We've done FTP projects with a number of my other athletes in the past, including Yvonne last year. Yvonne, is that right? That I thought it would be fun to expand it out to the team because it provides about 6 weeks of structure in largely sort of between an hour and a half, usually hour and 15. A lot of the workouts will actually be built in the workout builder on Training Peaks that you can integrate into your smart trainer if you have such a smart trainer and you're smart like that. So they're really great, easy plug and play. But I also like the idea of the FTP project. If, for example, you felt like you never sort of got on top of race fitness this year, Mark Koenig.
Also a way to actually do that all the way to your Garmin. There's a Connect IQ app.
Oh, right, nice.
Takes the workout builder and actually puts it on the Garmin and actually tells you when.
Tells you what to do, but doesn't, yeah. My understanding is, and I don't know if it's true or not, but the smart trainers will actually integrate the power request.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you do it outdoors, you could actually, the Garmin
Cool.
down to like, for example, 520.
I'm trying to get to the point where most of the workouts have that workout builder component, but I have to build each one individually, and it's a little, with 290 workouts, it's a little bit laborious. Plus, I constantly change my mind, so I could write one workout and be like, that's the best work I've ever done, and immediately turn around and write another one and be like, that's the best work I've ever done. So the point being that if you're currently on either the development program, which I don't think anybody in this room is, or the focus program and the FTP project is intriguing, or vice versa, just drop me an email. Rather than starting a new program and having recruit everyone over to that, for the next, for at least October for the focus program and for 6 weeks on the HIT program, there will be some structure introduced. Obviously, the more structured being the HIT program. So if you want structure, time management is an issue for you. Where's Sean Becker? He's not here. Let me know and we'll put you on that program because it will amply satisfy your desire to suffer, hopefully. Track day. Apparently, we're having track day on October 21st still, but I'm not going to waste my time, his time, or the team's money if I have 2 people show up. So today on the PV doc on Google Docs, I put a screen on to sign up and say you're coming and whether or not you need a rental bike. If you're going, sign up, put your name on, let us know if you need a bike, okay? I would say my end number to have participation and to make it happen, to make it worth the team's vast expenditure of resources is probably between 5 and 10 riders. Does that seem reasonable to you? So I think that's pretty easy since we already have 2. Getting 3 to 5 or 7 more people coming out to the track to experience track for not only to learn track to maybe go track racing, but there's also a lot of stuff we can do in a closed environment on a track that if you get into it and get involved, maybe we jump into that and do some more of these structured days. It will probably cost you, but as a group, if we rent the track, it's what, $250 a day or something? $100 an hour. Geez. So sign up.
For exclusive use.
For exclusive use, but we can do that if we get a group, right? $10 an hour if we get 10 riders and we can do specific workouts and really accomplish a lot as a team. Lead outs, TTTs, working with Eric on his crunchy face. So that's in there. I'd love to have you guys come out October 21st. That is my date of birth. I got to the party. You know what I did? The Smurf. Okay. Beastie Boys, anybody? No? All right. The point being, come out and do it and make it worth our time, your time. It'll be a lot of fun. 2018 recruiting. This Saturday is the, I don't know what I called it, come hang out with us ride or something like that. Raise your hand if you're bringing a friend. Who's bringing a buddy? Anybody? Anybody? Who wants to make a friend? Raise your hand if you want to make a friend. Come out and make a buddy. Mark, you need a friend?
We're all old, man. What's the problem?
To answer the question that I heard through the grapevine that I only want young guys on the team.
That's right.
That's not true. I only recruit them through the NCNCA thing because I don't need another half dozen 35-year-old Cat 5s. If they come to the team, that's great, but I'm not going out seeking them. Ladies will take everyone that we can get. Gentlemen in the elites will take everyone we can get. But we're an open enrollment club. We can't not take anybody. If they want to come racing, come racing. That said, if you don't show up with a buddy, I think there should be a consequence, don't you think? Everyone's like, I don't have a buddy. There's no consequence. All right. I'll get back to you on the consequence. And if you don't show up, there's definitely a consequence.
Sorry.
Unless you have a really good excuse or you're Manko Johnson. Hey, Andrew Shue, that's your thing right there.
Your kid.
Yeah, you know your tool thing. Yeah, it's super sweet. Yeah, well, I used it for a while, and then I brought it to you. Yeah, it's worth more now, so you actually still owe me $25. The goal of it is, guys, is just to get people to come out, see the club, see if they mesh personality-wise with this cadre of insanity, and have some fun. If you saw the ride route, take heart. There are a lot of bailout options. I know things like Joaquin seems intimidating, but it's winter, right? It's fall, so easy gears is all the rage. At the same time, if we have an event and we get absolutely zero participation, it reinforces the idea that we're really not that cool, despite winning 50-plus races and finishing second in the BAT this year. I think we're cool. I'm bringing a friend. Note to self, find friend. Okay. Subsequent to that, and coincidentally in concert with the FTP project, I'm hoping to start the Garage series. That's a loose name. If sponsorships are available, Pacific Therex could sponsor the Garage series for a small six-figure sum. Between November 15th and the end of the year, I wanted to do a Garage series again, trying to drive team participation, team camaraderie, team blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The hope is that Eric Salander volunteers his garage because he has the best garage. And they got a bunch of Le Mans trainers around. And it's fairly convenient for most people location-wise to do a garage series, which is basically just a 60 to 90-minute ride once a week or maybe every other week. I'm putting it out there now so you guys can start salivating a little bit over the next 6 weeks. So that by the time we get to October 15th, here's the thing. October 15th is a Wednesday. So it's like the gods have shined down and said, you should do this training series starting on October 15th, which is a Wednesday.
That says November 15th.
November 15th, sorry, November 15th. Thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne, I'm on a roll here, okay? What was the Animal House? Yeah. The tournament from Pearl Harbor. Okay. Tentatively Wednesday night, 7 to 8:30, so you can get home, have a light dinner, or at least get through traffic, which seems to me to be getting worse and worse in the Bay Area. I don't want to stick it all on Eric's garage space, so if you have a garage and or desire to have a lot of sweaty people in your house, volunteer, Manko.
If you have a garage that needs a couch, I can help you.
A good step, a good step.
And if you like one that previously belonged to Murray Swanson, I can help you with that as well.
There should be an auction or something for that.
No, please, just take it. There's no auction. I'll deliver if you.
Wow. Wow. Anyway, the garage series is a work in progress, but keep it in the back of your minds. Speaking of 2018, I would say that if I have a lament or a regret from last year, it would be that we did some personal planning, but we didn't do sort of two parts of it. That would be the front end and the back end. The front end being you doing the personal planning sheet off of the Google Drive, which is in the form section of the Google Drive. In the form section of the Google Drive, there's a season planning and a season review sheet. You can do those. You can print those and send them to me and bring them. Or you can take a picture and send it to me, or you can put it back on the Google Drive with your name like Colleen and Andrew did. The point being, I want to start early with this because last year we sort of get caught up in the season and January comes and suddenly we're running along and nothing gets happened and the next thing you know it's May and you guys are like, I have a plan but I don't know if it's any good. So I'm hoping you guys will. Also on the Google Drive is the 2018 rough schedule for NCNCA next year. So review the calendar, set some goals individually, right? Think, I am a bike racer, I want to do this, as opposed to, I'm a Cat 4 on the team who wants to do this. That can be part of your goal setting, but be selfish initially, okay? Review those races, set some goals, complete the review sheet from this year. If you haven't, it's a good study in experience of looking back at your year with a little bit of structure and saying, this was good, this was bad, this I want to improve, this I'm already good with. Long-term goal is to plan a meeting with me via phone or in person, half hour-ish, with 90-some members. Probably not everyone's going to take advantage, but that's, at a half hour, that's 40-some hours of time. It's going to take a while to get everybody done. The onus is not on me to find you. The onus is on you to find me. I'm easier to find than you are. Okay? I have one email address, one phone number. I don't really answer the phone, so whatever. But it's worthwhile because it's something that matters to everybody, and it does serve a purpose and gives you that longitudinal reference point looking back. If you look back 3 years ago and you're like, I really want to be a Cat 2, and now you're a Cat 2, life's good. Questions about the season planning startup, I guess. And I don't know how close to final the race schedule is. It's on that document, but I think it's pretty close. As far as Eric knows. Okay, that was road team. Any questions about road stuff? Yeah, it's October. Who cares about road? Cyclocross. So I did want to take a moment and acknowledge Dave Porter and Andrew Horvath for getting us some wins already this year, and also some other podiums, including Andrew, his daughter, and Justin and Brian and Sean. And I think this is everybody because it goes from the first CCX through yesterday's West Sac Grand Prix.
I could do wins in C too.
Oh, but don't be a party pooper.
Ow! Horvath's not here to defend himself, so let's dirt him out a little bit. It is pretty bad to take a C race and just to get the win. So at the same time,
He needs upgrades.
yeah, and I know, we also have a number of guys that have taken the upgrade, gotten the upgrade to 3 so they can race nationals, which we'll get to in a second. But we're off to a good start, guys. I'm pretty excited because we already have 16 top 10s in only, 6 races, 8 races, 6 races. With decent participation, but not, races are sort of, we're getting 3 to 5 racers out there. I'd like to see a little bit more as we get into the fall because we're a bigger team than that on cyclocross. Unless you have a really good excuse like you're planning for the road season and you're going to squander your cross season. So congratulations to those guys. National schedule is out. It amends our original plan to go party in Reno for a week because really most of us, unless Yvonne comes out of the woodwork to be never mind. Most of us are racing on Thursday, January 11th. My way of thinking is we get there early on January 10th, do the afternoon pre-ride, the evening, so there's a noon pre-ride and like a 4:15 pre-ride. Race the next day and either jet that day or hang around till Friday morning. Saves everybody money, and Reno's, exciting, but not that exciting. So that should, solidify getting housing for us. The original housing that I pitched last time was for the whole week with a smaller group, and so far I've got a pretty small group. We're like 5 to 7 people that are going, racing, and or supporting. We can probably do a smaller house, keep the costs down, keep it reasonable for everybody, and not be there for a week wondering why we bothered to go to Reno. But Thursday the 11th is the marquee day for the Masters. Friday, Masters Women. Again, we don't really have anybody doing anything from Friday on unless somebody races single speed. There's a possibility that Reed would come do nationals, collegiate nationals, in January. I talked to him just the other day, and it's on his list of things he wants to do. So we may do something earlier because that race is on Wednesday. So we may show up Tuesday night with him if he's able to go. He's not sure about school yet. And so it's going to be a very condensed version of nationals, okay? The upside of that is it's a condensed version. Downside is it actually does open up that weekend where we were going to do the camp, but now the camp's already scheduled for February, so that's locked and loaded. So maybe we'll look at doing something team-oriented that weekend, a mini camp or something like that. We'll see. Again, that's a few months away, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But Madeline and our super juniors, basically, who one's now in college and the other is in Scotland. So there you go. Speaking of nationals, I also added a sheet to the Google Docs about housing, if you're going, when you're going, arrival, departure, etc. Pretty straightforward. And last but not least, because it's a short thing, thank you for taking up a good portion of my chat time, Amy, because I didn't have that much to say, is the race calendar, or the October team calendar. Ride this weekend, ride next Saturday, added ride next Saturday as well. Track day on the 21st, club photo on the 28th, I think at 8:30 in the morning, at the 9 in the morning at the,
Be there at 9.
whatever it's called.
Because they don't open that place until
Yeah, the water temple.
at the water temple.
And then our next focus race is Surf City Halloween Cross on the 29th.
Bring your costumes, man.
Yeah, who was I talking to about costumes? Was that you, Ken? Ken and I are working on a costume. Was that you I was talking to about costumes? I guess not.
Like,
I've got a duck man.
Huh? Okay. Duckman's going to be great. I can't really give away my costume, but it's going to be spectacular. As long as nobody comes as Powdered Toast Man, because Eric Wolberg will have a conniption if you come as Powdered Toast Man. Other than that, we've got this meeting done in the shortest amount of time ever because September, October. Ride your bike, have fun, beautiful weather, nothing really on the calendar except one focus race, and hopefully some team rides. Questions, comments, needs, requests, Mark?
It's about 2 to 3 more weeks to get the amazing closed section of Big Sur. It's bucket list shit, guys. If you
Oh.
haven't done it. I mean, riding Highway 1. Big
You know,
Sur
maybe
without
that's
cars,
the,
basically without cars.
maybe that's a PV team ride on the 14th. Is there a date for it to open? Do we know for sure?
My friends who just wrote it Sunday said that people told them 3 weeks now. It was going to be mid-October. It sounds like it slipped 1 week.
So with that 14th, we'll see. Maybe we can confirm it because that 14th would be a great day to go do that. Roll down, grab some breakfast, do the ride, come back.
You do a 400-foot hike over dirt, get to it.
Sweet, even better.
Push/carry your bike. It's not that big.
It's easy.
Bring a cross bike, ride it,
You bring an extra pair of shoes and you switch. You stash them in the bushes. And
or you collect someone else's. So that's an idea for that ride on the 14th because I know the route. It is gorgeous, and do it with no traffic would be spectacular, once in a lifetime kind of thing.
It is amazing. If you get good weather, and now if it's foggy and windy,
It's still an experience,
it is.
but worthwhile to do. Other questions or comments? Thank you, Mark. All right. So informal poll. Who would like these meetings to be a lot more formal? Okay, so the free form's okay, right? You guys are okay with me being sort of a... I wanted to be a superstar cut-up comedian, but I wasn't funny, so I ended up as a coach. All right. In the 10 or 15 minutes before the club gets here, try to eat all the food. So they're like, what the heck?
Drink all the beer.
And definitely drink all the beer. All right, thanks again, guys. I know that was short, but it was to the point and covered some good information.
Oh, tell us about your cross race.
Shut the hell up, Carcola.
yeah, stop recording now, right?
Right. This is that secret part of the meeting I mentioned earlier. No, Bill, let me just reiterate that my cross race was a highly successful endeavor. I mean, I don't know how you judge your cross races, but I think 2 minutes of riding before you roll the tire is pretty good. I rolled both tires on my cross bike, one in training, one in the warm-up, and one in the race. So
Yeah, so Coach Matt's going to have a
I'll be doing
tire training session.
a how not to glue your tire session.
Cursed yourself.
It's going to be, yeah.
It's gonna roll right off.
Yeah, fortunately it rolled off in opportune time, so I didn't hurt myself. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, I gotta say. But the SAC GP was really great. Sacramento's a really fun venue. The Surf City's a really fun venue. There's some really fun cross races. I know we have some newbies at cross that actually didn't make it to the meeting, like what's his name, tall guy, fast time trialer. But they should be there.